Culver's, one of the biggest fast food chains in Wisconsin. Today, me and my buddy Matt had the opportunity to drive down to Prairie Day Sauk and meet the founder, Craig Culver.
Welcome back to the podcast. We're here in Sauk City, Wisconsin at the Culver's headquarters, and we are moments before we interview the founder, Craig Culver.
Welcome to Hawk Hustle. This podcast is where we show you how to be successful as a high school schooler. I'm your host, Matt Ross.
And I'm Collin, Fowler. Today we are accompanied by the one and only Craig Culver, the founder of Culver's, one of the biggest fast food chains in Wisconsin. There are over 900 locations in the United States.
Thank you for having us at your headquarters.
You're welcome.
And let's get the show on the road.
All right, Craig. Our podcast is focused on the steps of being successful, mostly being in the teen years. So what started your whole idea of Culver's? And did you work in fast food as a child?
You know, I grew up in the business. When I was 11 years old, my father, and maybe you guys have researched my history a little bit. I'm guessing you have.
A&W.
Yeah, started with an A&W drive-in. There was no dining inside. I was 11 at the time. My brother was 9, and when I tell the story, it's kind of like a farming family. You know, everybody goes to work, and we did. Even as a 9 and 11-year-old, we went to work with our parents. And when I graduated from high school here in Sauk City, Prairie Sac, we call it Sauk Prairie. I had no intention of staying in the food service industry, and my dad at that time, I was 17, and my dad decided he was going to sell the business, and he did. And didn't matter to me. And I went off to school at UW Oshkosh. I've got a degree in biology of all things, not business, not hospitality. But my dad was a real entrepreneur. He was a risk taker. And my dad was a guy that grew up hard of hearing. Since birth, he had to wear hearing aids in both ears. Eventually, he went blind as well. But you know what? That didn't stop him. When my father believed in something, he followed through on it.
That's cool.
Nothing was going to stop him, and so he went from the little A&W drive-in to a bigger operation called the Farm Kitchen Resort, and that's just north of here, about 13 miles north of here. And have you heard of Devil's Lake State Park? Ever been there?
Yes, yeah.
Well, it's one of the coolest state parks in Wisconsin, and certainly the Midwest. And he bought this place, occupied 40 acres at the north entrance of the park. The lodge itself had 2 big dining rooms, a big kitchen where everything was made from scratch, a little bar area, an entranceway which literally entered into our living room because we lived upstairs. And the place was what we had apple orchard, we had a miniature golf, we had horseback riding, amusement barn, swimming pool, 24 cottages. And at the time I didn't think anything of it. It was just my parents buying a business, and sure, I'll help them out. Later on in life, when I look back on that, here my parents were not college educated. Dad hardly got through high school because of his handicaps. I look back and I said, wow, my parents were pretty darn good. I mean, to go from the hot dog stand to this place, how did they do it? How did they do it? They did it by, Mom and Dad were so good at surrounding themselves with wonderful people. People that knew how to say please and thank you and my pleasure. People that had a heart. They were good people, hardworking people, just like my parents. And that's what they were so good at. And they were just good business people. But that's how I got my start in the food service business. And literally, since I've been 11 years old, I've always been in the food service business. So I'm 73 now, so do the math. It's a number of years.
So with COVID-19, it obviously flipped everything upside down. Like, what did it do to Culver's during that time?
Well, March 12th, 2020, I was actually in Arizona at our house out there, and I get a call from our CEO saying all our dining rooms are closing today. And holy moly, what are we going to do? And nobody's thinking straight at that point. Everybody's
It
just
was chaotic, everything.
chaotic and just reacting. And I know a number of our franchisees were thinking we got to lay people off, get rid of people. And I gave it a little more thought, and and there was an epiphany. And I said, wait a second. We've got a drive-through. Just think of how many competitors, like casual diners and different people and independent restaurants. Yeah, all the fast fooders, they have a drive-through, but how many other restaurants don't? And they're competitors as well, by the way. How many don't? And I said, wait a second, we're not letting people go. We're not going to do that. We're going to step up the drive-through is what we're going to do, and do the best job we possibly can and extend our hospitality. Not that we weren't before, but extend it to the drive-through more than what we ever had prior. And I don't know if you saw it, you were what, freshman at the time or so, something like that? And lines at our restaurants at the drive-through were a mile long,
Yes.
They were lined up out into the streets, out into the highways. We had the local police scolding us because we had to go faster to get the cars off the highway. We had a record year in 2020 in spite of COVID. I mean, we blew the prior year away just through the drive-through.
That's so cool.
And then in 2021, we had a better year yet. 22, we had a better year yet. And 23, we're having a better year yet.
Oh, yeah, it's just going to keep going up. Yeah.
Well, we hope, and that's the plan, but you got to stay on your game.
What do you believe sets your company apart in terms of corporate culture and values that will help you thrive in the future?
The answer to that is always going to be people. It's always people, and that's true with any business. Unless there are no people involved in your business, and I don't want to get rid of people. I know my industry right now is looking at ways of how do they get rid of people, and I don't want to go there. I think we stay the course on. Not that we won't use technology, we will. To our advantage, we'll use, and artificial intelligence, we'll use it. We'll use it as well, what works for us, what suits us. But I don't want to get rid of people. I like the idea of looking at you, taking your order and saying thank you.
Yeah.
I think that'll be a competitive edge for years. But who knows? A lot of the young people they're used to maybe a different way of doing business than what, I'm older, but I still think there's something there. I think we'll be different than many of our competitors going down the road. So we'll see. Time will tell. So far, it works for us. In the first year at Culver's, we just about failed as well. Yeah, we did. The Hardee's was right across the street from us. It's 1984. They were the fastest growing burger chain in America at the time. Their parking lot is full. Dairy Queen in 1984, also across the street from us. That's the year the Blizzard was invented.
Wow. We're back here at Salt City Culver's. We just finished with the interview. Obviously, we're done eating. We talked to some of the future franchise owners in there and managers. They discussed, the process to getting one. What's some good steps to get towards it. But it was a great experience. Thank you again, Craig, for having us. It was an awesome experience, and we recommend if you want to do something, do it, because there's no point of wasting time now. So thank you for listening to our podcast.